I'm just saying listeners would be confused if there wasn't a mic check during the show.
Oh.
We just went in.
Oh, all right.
They'd be like, wait, where's like the 5 to 10 minutes where, you know, we complain about buzzing and echoing and all the rest?
So are we starting? What are we doing?
Oh, we've already started.
Yeah, we started.
So this is exciting.
We could always get off to a really cheery start and talk about Dunkirk.
Wow, that's like old school. That's old school.
I think he means the movie.
That was just
not
old
really
school.
the actual historical thing.
No. His you know, he was like weaving in and out.
Who?
WEJ.
Only to you.
The Widgelet.
What is happening?
I don't know. On my end, you sounded all weird and everything.
Well, I always sound weird.
Well, that goes without saying. Wow. So
I saw Dunkirk last night, actually.
Now I don't know which one I'm supposed to get.
What do you mean, which one?
It was
Dunkirk?
Oh, so I was, or which problem I have?
What the hell are you talking about?
You're the Help Me Rocks person.
I went to the regular theater.
What?
I went to the regular theater, Dunkirk.
Oh, you didn't see it in IMAX?
No, because
it's not IMAX, it's 70
my
millimeter.
theater is really cool because for the pre-show, Tim's the owner, and his wife, lovely Shanna, is the daughter of, we discussed this, never mind, bypass that. So anyway, they find some really cool stuff as pre-show stuff. So they were showing trailers for Battle of the Bulge, the Dunkirk that was done way back in the day, and so
nice.
it's really cool.
I mean,
Yeah,
like
it was really
Israel?
cool. No, movies. Like, oh my God, there was one.
Oh, you mean old movies that have talked about, that have done like World War II stuff?
Yeah,
Like
there was a Dunkirk, and it had like Trevor Howard in it, and a bunch of others. Oh my God, what is the Battle of the Bulge had the blonde Robert Shaw, who looked really weird with blonde hair. You know, so they were showing trailers like that, so that was really cool.
That's cool. Was it regular, or did they do 70 millimeter?
They did the 28 millimeter, which was fine. I'm not a big fan of, you know, war pictures, but you know, the war pictures. So it was good. It was a good film.
Well, yeah, because it's not your typical war movie. It's basically talking about a retreat.
It's true.
Which you usually don't get from American war movies.
Well, you usually don't get American war movies that don't have any Americans in them.
I know.
Which, I don't know. I mean, if this was... who put this out? Was this Warner Brothers? I think it was.
I think so.
Yeah, it was, because the trailers that were before it were all Warner Brothers.
Gotcha.
All 70 millimeter, and one of them apparently the projectionist dropped on the floor and then dragged it through the concession stand, and that was the Blade Runner trailer that was in 70 millimeter. So I want to find that guy and murder him.
Why? What did he do?
The trailer was all scratched up, basically is what I'm saying. And it was scratched up beyond just minor scratches. It was scratched to hell for the Blade Runner 2049.
Right.
You know, there was a time that we would go to the theater and all the movies were all scratched.
Yeah.
Remember those days, WEJ, when, you know, the copy.
I do. Well, and the person who was on the organ who was providing accompaniment would get out of sync Oh, it's just
Yeah.
it was terrible.
And then they had to take a smoke break.
Oh.
And then you had to valet park your horse. It was horrible.
Oh,
And then
God.
the
Awful.
light bulb would just burn the film,
Ugh.
and then would go flip, 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 and then it goes white, and everyone goes groans.
And then some chick cuts her finger on a demonic mask in the lobby, and next thing you know, you're on a motorcycle with a katana blade, having to kill zombies and.
If you didn't get out to that, then, all of a sudden you feel something on your leg and somebody yells out, "It's the Tingler," and that gets everybody out.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, when was the last time, here's a question. When was the last time anyone was in a movie theater where, the film was what we call snake bit, where, they couldn't do anything, that it would, like, the projection machine would break and the film would break. The film would break. What people don't understand, film would break. And so somebody actually had to, like, be in the, I'm talking to our audience, John, not you. Anyway, film would break, kids, and the projectionist would actually have to, like, slice it back, rethread it, and it was on film. And it wasn't in the handy dandy no work case, I guess. And they had to, like, thread it through, and then
or they could just turn it back off and on.
Well, if the film broke, you had to splice it.
I think the last one I remember is like Lawnmower Man.
Mm-hmm.
That happened. And it's like they couldn't fix it.
Well, that was a horrible film. So even if it's out of sequence, it's probably better.
Yeah.
This is true.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you I converted speaking out of sync films. So Shutter Island. This was a good example. So I would get a DVD from Netflix and convert it and then send it back so I can watch later. So I would convert it into an AVI file. Well, I knew nothing of it. Allegedly. So I'm watching this film. I'm like, what the hell? It was all crazy. And I just, like, scenes didn't make sense. And, like, there was the scene where Leonardo is in the Jeep with that guy. And it happened like 3 times. I'm like, wait, what? And I go through this entire film, and then I'm at the end, and the scene is, I'm not kidding, it's Leonardo DiCaprio's talking to the woman and then I took an axe and just cut my husband. End credits. I'm like, what? So I knew somebody that watched, and I said, did the film end with the woman confessing that she took an axe to her husband? And they're like, what? I'm like, okay. So you can have glitches in your digital files, kids. Just saying. So
me and my buddy Chris used to be a projectionist at a local AMC theater here. Ooh. And
AV Club.
Part of what you were saying is accurate. What you used to have to do is you get the film in usually between 6 to 8 smaller reels, and then you would have to spin them up onto a big platter and then mount them onto the turntable that then was fed through the projector rather. And one of the things you always kind of had to do, one of the things, or at least an excuse, was that whenever there was a big film came out, that you would always play it the night before it was released, and all the employees would come and watch and whatever. But ostensibly the reason for doing that wasn't just so that you could see Batman before everybody else. It was so that you could make sure the film was put together properly. So my friend, he mounted it and put it up there, and then started to play it. And then they said, "Oh no!" We finished watching it, and then he said, then they said, "Oh, we're actually going to move it to a different movie theater. So you have to pick it up. You have to put this little ring in it or whatever." and it locks it down, and you tape off the end, and you carry it on this other, like, basically it's a cardboard, so sort of a cross between wood and cardboard board. Well, he forgot to put the board underneath when he picked it up off the thing, and it went everywhere. Now, mind you, this was not like a fascinating film. It was, if I gotta remember the name of the thing, is it Firebirds? It was the supposed to be the Top Gun of helicopter films.
Oh, shit.
Firebirds? I want to say it was Firebirds. But anyway, so as someone looks that up, so he spent the next 3 hours trying to put that damn thing back together, and then just finally said screw it and just started cutting places and putting them back together. And then there were sections that were just sort of out of place. But the thing is, I don't think anybody really knew. I mean, there'd be like 15 frames that were like out of place, and of course you can't really see 15 frames. But the thing was a freaking piece of mess. It was a mess because it was all in knot. What happens is as soon as it falls off there, it basically became a big knot. And he spent all his time trying to get it as right as he could, but it was just spliced to hell. So yes.
Ooh, it's a Nick Cage film.
Yes, it is. I just looked that up as well.
What was the name of the film? Did you happen to see?
Firebirds. You got it.
Firebirds. I got it right. Okay.
Originally,
that was a horrible movie.
Yeah, originally titled Wings of the Apache.
I wonder why that wasn't the final name.
That's what they apparently called it internationally. So, go figure.
Well,
I've never even heard of that.
So 1990. Well, the thing is it's the AH-64, the Apache.
Yeah.
That's what that helicopter is called. And it's a really badass helicopter because I worked for Singer Link for a summer in the marketing department, and they created flight simulators, and they were just rolling out the AH-64, and it's pretty cool. It's a cool helicopter.
My dad originally worked on the prototype for the Gatling gun that they mounted to the front of that thing.
Oh, whoa!
I still have a little somewhere. I still have a little tie pin that they gave him for him and his team that built the. They did all the tool and die making for it.
Yeah.
And so they gave him a little tie pin to commemorate the.
Wow.
Nice.
Gatling gun.
So, all right. So, did everybody like Dunkirk?
Yeah, I thought it was.
I thought it was a little too chatty. We could have done with less dialogue. No, it was a great film.
God, blah 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 blah.
Shut up already!
Jesus Christ!
No, it was well. I saw it. Like I said, I saw it last night in 70 millimeter, and it was a beautiful film, and Tom Hardy once again wearing a mask.
Yep.
At least this time it made sense.
Well, I mean,
I guess it makes sense with Bane as well. I mean, that's how he.
No.
Yes, it did. The character Bane
yeah,
is at the breeze.
It kind of
Not in the movie. No, I mean in the comics, yeah, but in the movie, no.
Although I got to tell you, that man is like even I don't know if it's because he's covering up his face or what, but you never know who he is until you figure it out from the end credits. It's like he has a face that you can remember, but you can never.
I knew who he was at the end. I mean,
well, yeah. Once he took off the mask, I was like, oh.
Well, he has because of his career of acting with as little of his face as possible. I knew his eyebrows immediately.
That man has eyebrows of steel.
Dukakis magazine raves eyebrows of the year.
Dukakis, why is there never enough? See, Dukakis was a never mind.
Kids, ask your parents.
Indeed.
Oh God. But no, what I think what amazed me was that when I first saw the trailer for it, I assumed, okay, well, this is going to be one of those 3-hour epic war films.
Yeah.
But instead, it was an hour and 46 minutes. It's like,
and this is a Christopher Nolan movie.
46 with the credits, because I came out of the theater and I looked at my watch and I'm like, it's not even. I went in at 6:30 and I go, it's not even 9 o'clock yet.
Yeah, Christopher Nolan showing restraint. I mean, damn.
Well, no, I mean he's generally. I won't say he's an efficient filmmaker, but he doesn't throw a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah, but do you think they did that because of the way the timeline, how he worked the timeline? That if you sat for another hour with the ticking and the closing up on time and stuff. I mean,
I think part of it is that, I mean, to tell the story he was trying to tell, because again, not a lot of dialogue, and it was so very taut in that it started and it just didn't stop. It was pretty much from jump you were in it.
Yes.
I think partly because I remember going to see Saving Private Ryan, and it was just exhausting, because it was so. But with this, it was just intense. But I didn't leave feeling
drained,
like the film had beaten me up. You know what I mean? So I wonder if part of that was a conscious decision to go, okay, let's tighten this as much as possible, so that when you leave, you actually feel like you have energy to be able to talk about what you've seen. I think that's part of it, and I think it's just, with the story he wanted to tell, with the three timelines and the three basically spheres of engagement, that's the time he needed, because it's like, okay, well, what could you add to what they put in there? It kind of did its job and got out, which I was.
My only thing is that long fly over at the end where Tom Hardy's like flying, coasting.
Right.
It's like, couldn't he like circle back? But he just kept going further.
No, he did.
He did.
Well, he did, but he still wound up going further down because he was captured by the Germans.
Spoiler.
Sorry. Well, it's history.
Yeah.
If you didn't know this now.
Yeah, if you didn't know Tom Hardy was captured by the Germans.
Next, you're going to tell me that the Germans lost the war.
Oh, surprise!
Donnie, sit down.
Wait, you didn't know that he coasted into the enemy fire?
No, I knew
that. Okay.
Yeah, I just assumed.
But he did turn around. He flew one way and then turned around and came back the other way.
Well, he did to get rid of that one plane, and then he just kept going.
Well, I just assumed it was one of those things where it's like, well, that was a bitch to turn around. I don't think I could do that again.
Well,
I don't think I got enough. I don't think I got enough air.
Yeah, momentum. Yeah,
that too. But then again, I don't know shit about flying a plane, which means I would, in all the airport movies, I'd just be dead.
Well, it's true. Yeah. None of us do. Well.
Rox can't comment further. She doesn't want to wind up on a list. I mean, another one.
I'm on another list. I'm on a list. I'm on the list now. What kind of list?
I don't know. I often feel like I'm listing kind of to the left.
Oh, you should have that looked at.
Yeah,
Montel Williams had that.
Really?
So,
maybe it's because we spend so much time on
he had this thing where he was always lopsided.
What? Hold on, I'm going to Google lopsided Montel Williams right now.
Maybe it's because we spend so much time on the internet, we're becoming like list articles.
Well, yeah, welcome to the internet.
List articles. Are you Are you insinuating that BuzzFeed might be some kind of jumpstart for evolution?
You won't believe that BuzzFeed is.
I think BuzzFeed is the Bavarian Illuminati.
What, and not Outback?
Yes.
Until.
Jeez.
But yeah, they're yeah. I mean, everybody. I was so funny. So we're trying to work on a letter to our city council, and I made a joke that what we should do is make the letter into a clickbait so that our city council members will like, you know, hey, have you seen Christina Aguilera? You know, whatever, and then they would be drawn into why we need more money for the library.
You won't believe what this library needs.
Yes. And number 20 will just have you reeling.
You won't believe what you'll find at this library.
Holy shit, they have books and shit.
They do. They have magazines, free magazines that you can download onto your iPad or tablet.
To that end, they're also making it free, so you don't even have to go into the library.
That's right.
These
I
books
know.
are made of tree corpses.
Oh, tree corpses.
I love their last album.
Mm-hmm.
What else? Oh, Atomic Blonde.
Yes.
Saw that.
Oh, did you?
Ooh.
I don't have it. It's not in my around the corner shop movie theater.
It's
I don't know where to go anymore.
Well, I feel like that just in real life. So anyway,
Yes.
yeah, it's pretty great.
It's pretty great, but you really don't think about the plot for like 2 minutes because then it kind of falls apart like cotton candy.
For 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I thought it was all right. I just think that it's kind of amazed me that I found it to be more brutal than John Wick. I mean, because there were some beatdowns happening. It was like, holy shit.
Could it be that you saw like the aftermath and that was more real and therefore made it seem more brutal? Does that make sense?
I mean, yeah, no, it does. I'm thinking maybe, but I mean, just the fights themselves were just so. I mean, I watched a behind the scenes thing where they were talking about the fact that when they started the training, Theron was apparently such a natural that they were like, well, shit, we could do like 20 moves before we have to cut because she's got it. And they also employed the same thing they did for John Wick, which is let's have a fighting style that lets us have the actor do as much of it as possible so that we can show the actor doing it. Because they said the problem, and this is true, the problem with a lot of action films is you see a guy who's supposed to be a badass, and well, the camera keeps cutting away, so you can't tell that it's them. So it's like, well, how much of a badass are they really? Because you know, I can't even tell it's them. And so that's why with John Wick, a lot of the stuff that you see is actually Keanu, and they make a point of, you know, showing you that it's him. So.
By the way, Iron Fist, please do not take that note. Cut away as much as possible, please. Okay, go on.
Well, I heard they're replacing the showrunner.
Yeah. Because something had to change.
Yeah. Well,
also, you know what? I think because looking at the trailers for the Defenders,
yeah,
it looks like he's fighting a lot. He looks better fighting in the Defenders from what we've seen. Granted, it's very little that we've seen so far. So maybe it's possible he heard the criticism and said, "You know what? Maybe I should step up my game."
Well, I heard that Iron Fist was kind of rushed. They didn't really have the time to really get him that comfortable with the fighting style. So maybe now that he's had more time, he's become more comfortable with, you know, all that.
Yeah, I had heard it was mostly scheduling as well. That he came off of Game of Thrones and was like had pretty much no time to get ready.
Yeah, they had to heal that little scar he had on his forehead and everything.
Mm. But yeah, so I don't know. I never got past the first episode. It was so bad.
It was awful.
That it just made me it made my teeth hurt. It was just bad.
Yeah.
So that's why I finally just went online and was like, look, do I need to watch this? Somebody's like, no, you're fine. Just watch the Defenders. It'll be fine. I'm like, okay. I don't want to go into the Defenders and miss something.
But back to Atomic Blonde, because let's not talk about that. Atomic Blonde, I found it interesting that if anybody else had done some of the things like taking out somebody with a cooking pot, would seem goofy, but it actually worked. You know, with like she uses like what's around her, and sometimes that can seem kind of goofy and kind of contrived, but I don't know. They were very careful to make that work and make that seem realistic.
Well, and I mean, it depends. It does depend on who's doing it. I mean, because I remember one of the things that was great about the second Expendables film was that after pretty much not using Jet Li for the entire first film, they said, as by way of apology, "Oh, we're really sorry about that. Was dumb. We shouldn't have done that. Hey, to make it up for you, let's have him do a fight scene in a kitchen where he has all the shit he can grab and use." like 3 minutes in, it's like it's an extended Jet Li kitchen fight sequence, and it's like, okay, I forgive you. Thank you. So,
I also kind of like a little Easter eggs they had in there, like mentioning Hasselhoff.
Yeah, that was great.
And having her in the movie theater with Stalker. That was also a nice touch. No, it was really well constructed. And it just, and I love how, oh God, what's his name? McAvoy?
McAvoy, yeah.
Yeah, how he just went so native in like this insane city at the time. It just was like completely fucking out there. No, it really was very, like I said, very well constructed. It was very good.
Yeah, I was pleased. It is definitely worth seeing on the big screen.
And this is another movie where they've learned the lesson of like Guardians is like using a soundtrack to really set time and place and move. Just do it. Also, really don't make that an afterthought or this is what the music division needs to boost sales up. You know, it's more.
Well, that's I posted an article to the Facebook page talking to the guy who did the music clearance for the film, who is like freaking the fuck out because he's like, oh my God, we have like a budget of $30,000 or like $300,000. And I think, what was it? Was it another George Michael that he was like, yeah, I just got a George Michael that was like $4 million just for that alone for one song, and they're trying to do this. And he was like, what the fuck am I going to do? But it's just talking about the trials and tribulations of how all that works. Like, you know, I did not know, for example, that if you get paid more if the song is in the opening credits or the closing credits. You know, because then it's more of a featured song. That
always amazes me. It's like, I understand wanting to get paid, but you are also getting featured. You're also getting your stuff. Yeah,
they mentioned that actually.
Oh, they do.
It's really hard. Yes, they do. It's really hard dealing with the states because you can't go to David Bowie and you know, make a plea for, oh, don't you like Charlize Theron? She's wonderful. And then some band goes, oh, that's fucking awesome. Instead, they're like, yeah, it's lawyers, and they have no sense of humor, and they just, you know, they're just trying to make sure the estate gets paid. So they're very hard to deal with.
But it didn't. Also, didn't like the trailer that they went through the same thing for the trailer for Stranger Things 2.
I don't know, honestly.
Yeah. I read a couple. I think I saw a couple articles where getting Thriller was like just like you were talking about, was an absolute nightmare.
No, I can believe it.
To use it for the trailer, and it's like, good God. So no, I mean, I think I understand. It is lawyers who don't understand that, you know, who just understand we want the money instead of getting whatchamacallit, your stuff out there, or, you know, like the normal.
But bear in mind, I mean, if you're talking about Thriller or Under Pressure by Queen and David Bowie, or a lot of these songs, you don't really have to get them out there. They're kind of out there. I mean, isn't
for the young
really Thriller?
What was
Thriller? One of the perennial best-selling albums of all time. Thriller by that guy Michael Jackson. Yeah,
but you don't know the little children. You don't know the little children. The little
children who probably shouldn't be going to see Atomic Blonde because it's an R-rated film with a naked Charlie Theron in it. Scott, stop! You need to stop right now.
Oh, back up. Naked what?
Have you not seen the movie?
No.
Oh. Now, personally, I didn't get the same reaction like straight people would, but there's a thing I think you'd enjoy, John.
What is it? Thriller? Is Thriller in there?
Yeah, Thriller's in there too. It's the German version of Thriller. It was a cover by Nina, who did 99 Luftballons.
Yes. Oh, I posted in the chat about the Stranger Things trailer about.
Okay.
But yeah, I know. It just amazes me, like some of the troubles they've always had with, like, for example, WKRP in Cincinnati, and you're just like, can't you all just get together? I don't know. It's lawyers. It's how they make their billable hours. But
it's the rights for the. Well, yeah, it is.
I know.
Right.
But Atomic Blonde is amazing.
I will have to see that.
Yes. But the thing is, one thing I would say to some people, just to make sure they don't get completely, there is a bit more Le Carré going on. I mean, there's definitely a lot of fighting and ass kicking, but there is sort of like shades of gray type stuff going on as well. So.
Subterfuge.
Oh,
yes.
Yes.
Stuff.
Yes.
Wow. All right.
Yes. So.
That's cool.
Oh, no, it is very stylish.
I will have to see this.
And lots of ice. So much ice.
Okie doke.
This is true. There is a bit of ice.
Well, yeah, it was a very interesting recurring visual in the show, because like ice everywhere. When you see it, you'll understand. Anyway, I'm trying to think what else has come out recently.
Well, there's a trailer which I just saw for a film called The Girl with All the Gifts.
Oh, that's on Netflix.
Oh,
or no, it's on Amazon. No, it's on Amazon. Yeah, it's on Amazon.
Really?
Prime. Yeah.
I've heard bits, and I'm trying to remember.
It's basically a zombie film with Glenn Close.
Glenn Close, yep.
And Patty Considine. Let's see. And it's written by Mike Carey, who did the Lucifer comic book.
Oh, yes. Okay, I think I've heard a couple of reviews of this, and it's supposed to be very good.
Oh,
it was released in 2016.
Yeah,
good call. Well, yeah, apparently they're doing some kind of limited theatrical run because the trailer is out there. I just saw it, or they've done it or something. It just showed up on my trailer feed. But yeah, it's on Prime.
It's on Prime.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
What do you feed your trailer?
Well,
kittens
and explosions, celluloid and explosions.
Well, I mean, my trailer is paleo, so I just got to be, I got to be mindful of what it eats.
So you only feed it black and white stuff?
Hey, No need to get racist.
Oh, speaking of
Racism?
have you heard about the
We're
whole?
back.
Good. I'm glad that we got to this part of the conversation.
Have you heard about all the Confederate controversy?
Controversy.
Which one?
The next project supposedly being done by the guys.
Oh yes, that.
But have you heard the latest
what?
wrinkle in this? Oh, sorry.
Okay, yeah, let's catch rocks up. The people who did Game of Thrones are going to bring you a series about what if the South won the Civil War and slavery was still around today.
That was pretty much the internet's reaction.
Yeah.
I have.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much the reaction.
What were you going to say, John?
I was going to say that I have a much more wait and see attitude about it.
Well, I mean,
and by the way, yes, I know
High Castle is really good.
Right.
Man in the High Castle is, if the Nazis won, and the same thing with Japan, and they carve up the U.S. So
I know it's two white guys that are the showrunners. I get that, but the head writers are are African American or people of color. So I'm gonna do a wait and see on it. Right?
Well, here's a couple things that I had when I read this.
No, HBO hasn't canceled it yet, right? Because I know there's a whole thing last night during Game of Thrones.
But one thing that worries me about this show is the Archie Bunker effect. Is like, Archie Bunker was supposed to be the bad guy of the show, but everybody fell in love with him. So, what if people are going to be like, hey, this could actually work now? And it's like, oh, God.
Well, that's why they came up with, the Jeffersons.
But
it was by the same people.
There is another wrinkle in this controversy.
All right, what is it?
Amazon. I got to look up the showrunners, but they're doing a version of this as well. But
they are doing a version that is actually about. They're doing a show that is about
reparations.
Reparations, yeah.
Yeah. What happens is they win. Okay, the North actually wins the Civil War, and for the newly black slaves, they give them Louisiana, Missouri, and Alabama.
Wait! You said newly black slaves. They're slaves and they suddenly become black.
Newly free.
Okay.
Skip.
This show has gotten weirder by the moment.
Okay, but okay. Newly freed slaves.
Gotcha.
I just watched a Little Rascals episode, and
Jesus.
I cringed. So I'm like, I don't remember this.
But they give them.
Oh my God! They were quick. They were doing a skit of Uncle Tom's Cabin, and all the kids were in blackface, and I'm like, I don't remember this.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Scott.
The other day we were playing a Timeline Americana, and there was a picture. I don't know if you ever played Timeline, but the object is that they have little things in the front that have a year that they were in. You're supposed to put them in the right order. But there was a jazz singer, and they always have like this artwork on it. And there was one for jazz singer, and I went, I'm just going to because I'm playing with him. I'm just go ahead and put this back down towards the bottom of the deck.
Yes. All right, Scott. Sorry.
Okay, so they give the newly freed slave population Louisiana, Missouri, and Alabama as a new country.
This is the Amazon one.
Yeah, this is the Amazon one.
Okay.
And for a long time, this new country called New Colonia, I think, struggled. But when the show is in the present day, whenever the show is, this new country is actually succeeding and America's in decline. So there's a whole it's I like the premise because it actually offers a lot more. And that's another reason I didn't like the Confederate one. It's like, it's so tired. is like, well, what if the South won the war? That is like such low-hanging fruit. This offers a lot more interesting questions, like, would the Union really give up New Orleans as a port city? Could whites be citizens of this new? I mean, there's all sorts of interesting things they can do with it. So I think that's the much more interesting setup for this thing. So it's, yeah, everything's politics now. Yay. Yay.
Well, because there's nothing else going on in politics right now, so people need their pick.
Well, it's not just that. It's just, we can't get away from it. You can't. It's everywhere. It's in your face all the time.
I kind of have. I don't look at it.
I know, but I have this nagging feeling.
But Rox, he's gonna bring it up and put it in your face, Rox. He's gonna do it.
No, it's like,
and I will thwart him.
It's like the whole weeping angel thing. As soon as you blink, it sneaks up on you. So it's like you don't want to watch, but you're afraid that as soon as you turn away, it like.
No. I'm just like, oh, okay, it's something humorous. I mean, trust me, I've seen this guy in action since I was a citizen of upstate New York. It's like, there's a really great article about the Russian mob that bought 5 condos in Trump Towers when it was first built, and Trump actually was in on the closing of the deals. And this Russian mob guy, I think it's in the National Weekly magazine, which if you have a library card, kids, and you have a tablet, check with your library, because most libraries now offer free magazines that you can download at your pleasure. So anyway,
if you don't know if the tablet was given to you by a stranger, don't take
not
it.
me.
Take it to a doctor and get it identified first.
Yes. Yeah. Because there might be candy with blades in it. Just, like Halloween.
And by that
candy.
she means Blu-rays of the film Blade.
Yes.
And by candy, she means Candy Crush.
Yeah, sure.
Nobody really wants that to happen.
No.
Anyway. Oh my God, that live action game that they have now, apparently.
Oh yeah, that's right. It is a live action.
You know this exists, right?
Well,
the live action Candy Crush game?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh. Well, they did that with Pac-Man. They did that with Pac-Man one time. It was funny. It was great.
No, this is like a network television show, though.
Yeah. This is an actual game show.
Oh my God.
How do they make the things disappear when you make a row or something?
I don't know. Fly across the.
I have not seen it.
Whammy? Is it like show me the whammy guy? Like no whammy.
From the previews, it looks like you're suspended from the ceiling and you swipe.
Forget it. That's
they
stupid.
run you across the board.
Oh my God! Forget it. When will they bring back Battle of the Network Stars?
It's back.
Where?
It's on ABC.
Where?
Every Friday night.
Oh, the PBS Stars.
Battle of the Network Stars. What day is it?
I have no idea.
It's Saturday. It's on the DVR, so we don't know. But no, it is back. It is back. I'm not kidding.
Who are you talking to?
It came back.
My son.
It came back at June 29th.
Yeah, we've been watching it.
So
Holy
here's a
shit.
question.
So how much is there jiggle?
Yeah.
No. So here's a question. They should bring back, they should revise it so that it's Battle of all the network stars. You can have Game of Thrones people just beating the crap out of.
Wait, they did.
Rox. Rox. They did. Here are some of the people that are on this show. Is it John? Is it that they're doing teams and then the teams will
the teams are
eliminate each other and then come back or something like that?
No. It's just like one week and gone.
Okay, so yeah, the first week, Bronson Pinchot, Tom Arnold, Dave Coulier, Joey Lawrence, Lisa Whelchel, and Kim Fields. In the second week, people from Variety who I don't know and TV sex symbols who I don't know. Never mind. Let's see. They
do like a theme, like
primetime soaps. and
versus
ABC
Kids.
stars. Oh, here you go. They had the 5th episode was Cops on one side with Eric Estrada and Larry Wilcox from Chips. Kelly Hu I think is in Hawaii, the new Hawaii Five-0. Lorenzo Lamas.
Mm-hmm.
And then TV sitcoms with Todd Bridges, Dave Foley, and Willie Garson. I know that name. Oh, it's from White Collar. So yeah, there's a shit ton of people in this, Rocks.
And then the show that's on after that is The Gong Show.
What?
Yes.
Oh my God.
And it's actually not bad.
I have heard it. I have not seen it, but I've heard of it. And it's what's his face.
They kept the formula exactly the same. They didn't screw with it. They just said, "Yep, it's gonna be exactly the same."
Hey, you know who's doing it?
What about the dancing machine?
Gene, the dancing
well,
machine.
That's not around anymore.
Yeah, I think they're limited. What they can bring back.
What? It was such a horrible show. It was a great show.
No. I'm talking about Gene the dancing machine. Unless you're bringing him back with, like the reagent.
Yes, Rox, we talked about this on the podcast when it happened.
Did we really?
Yes, we did. And listen, I can remember it happened.
Even if we didn't, it sounds like something that would happen.
I know.
No, I
but
totally
you know who's
remember
hosting it? Mike Myers.
The Gong Show?
Yeah, but he's doing it as a character.
What? I don't understand anything anymore.
It's not bad. So they brought it back, Rox. How was your world? Is your world still in order, or are you?
It's fine. It's fine. Well, yeah, okay. So we need to discuss.
Oh, wait a minute. I do like this though. It's according to Wikipedia, which is always right. Mm-hmm. It's hosted by previously unknown British comedian Tommy Maitland. It's supposed to be Mike Myers, but ABC and Myers won't say. And officially, Maitland is the host. He's credited. So that I will say, okay, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like what?
That the fact that it's Mike Myers, but they're basically making it out like it's a different guy, an unknown British comedian.
Oh, all right.
I like that.
Harkening back to
I don't know. I don't know. I think his time's come and gone. Why does he keep resurfacing?
But so has the show.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Like
I know, and I didn't really watch that show. I watched the SCTV parody of Battle of the PBS Stars, which had Julia Child, which was John Candy beating up Fred Rogers, and he uses Good King Friday puppet to beat her up. It's great. Yes.
That was a classic.
It is a classic. So who would be the PBS star of today now? They're all gone.
God, I don't know.
Because, now they divide Masterpiece Theater. So I guess it would be, Alan Cummings, Laura Linney. I guess they can bring back Diana Rigg every once in a while. Yeah.
Oh, please.
Forever.
The more Diana Rigg, the better.
Somehow I got to lure her to be my neighbor.
Listen, that is a reality show waiting to happen, Rox. I'm just saying.
Rox's Neighborhood. And each week it's a different person that I just wander over to the side house and say, hey, neighbor.
No, this needs to be like the whole neighborhood needs to be like her, Judi Dench.
No. I've got it, Scott.
What?
I've even got the theme song.
Okay.
It's just little ditty about Rox and Diane. You want to watch it.
I do.
Oh, yeah.
I want to watch it.
Yes, we'll have a sidecar just like the two fat ladies that had the cooking show, and we'll go to the farmer's market. We'll go down to Disney, and she'll hate it.
Wasn't that a special episode of Spaz House?
It was.
Very
Thank you, disembodied.
Then each season you could have someone different because the second person needs to obviously be Helen Mirren.
Oh, yeah.
And then Judi Dench.
Because she's a fucking badass.
Yeah. Who else? We have to throw in an American.
She'd be like, she'd wear you out. I bet Helen, you'd be like, Helen, Jesus Christ, we've been going for 8 hours at Disney. Can't we just stop and get some food? No!
I can keep up.
I can see Helen Mirren drinking around World Showcase.
Oh,
I can keep up with her. I'm good.
I want to go on a pub crawl with Helen Mirren.
Yeah.
And
Life goal.
Oh God.
Life goal.
Yeah. So could we talk GOT?
Oh yeah, sure.
All right.
Yeah, you know me.
I know. So okay, so people have dropped out. So who should be on the show now? What British person have they forgotten now that they brought on Jim Broadbent? And I have a rant about the show this season.
I have no idea what British person. Kenneth Branagh. He's
not. He doesn't have a job on the GOT.
Thing.
He's not on GOT yet. So,
He's
oh my God,
busy,
Maggie Smith hasn't been on. She needs a job. Why didn't they tap what's his name? Brian Blessed.
Oh God.
Oh,
I think that'd be a little too on the nose.
No, I think
because Robert Baratheon's already dead. That's why.
Well, no, but
Oh
he
my
could be a maester or something. One of those
Yes,
backgroundy people.
Put up with him for about 10 minutes.
Exactly. Who else? I think Alan Cummings should be on the show. They need somebody. So anyway, it's season 7, right? We're down to last 2 seasons, and they have, they're shortening both seasons. And they're doing the thing that drives me so freaking crazy since the X-Files and whoever else. So it's medieval times, Faco medieval times, and yet travel is amazing. It's like there's a highway or something, and people can travel just like that.
Wait, your problem with the X-Files was that travel was too easy?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They would be like they would be in
Spokane, Washington.
And then all of a sudden they're in New York.
Walla Walla, Washington. Oh, never mind.
It's like, no. Now, at least with Warehouse 13, they explained we have black helicopters. Okay. So, because they would do the same thing. But here, it's like people are launching fighting stuff onto places that would take. It took, I think, in the first season, it took 3 weeks from the party to go from Winterfell to King's Landing. Am I correct, WEJ?
Oh God, I don't remember back that far.
Well, it was a giant travel log, that book.
Right, but you did have important story points that you were hitting along the way.
Right.
They may be like, oh my God, we've only got 2 short seasons left. We got to cut out the parts where they have to
I know. And
stop at the rest area and take a piss.
I know, but here's the thing. They don't have to do this. I think the showrunners are like, okay, we're done. Let's go on to this Civil War thing. I don't know.
Well, I think the actors are also sort of going, we really need to move on with our lives. We've got conventions we have to not go to.
Yeah.
Ooh, who's not going? Who's not showing? What's her name? Is Lena not showing up?
Yeah, she's not showing up. She also canceled Megaton too. So.
Well, she's like a working lady. She's a working lady.
I don't
all
know
that
that
much
about her, but
I know, but all right,
John,
Game of Thrones. It's just something you walk the streets, but okay.
John, it's like, okay, Brianna of Tarth, all she now does is tower and glower. That's it. So that's what she's doing now, right?
Well, that's more than what she did in episode 7. So
season 6.
No, I'm in episode 7 of
well, I didn't really care. I didn't really was
Star Wars.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, but So
Yeah, at least she didn't
other
get dumped in a rubbish
than
can.
okay, so we're 3 episodes in, and I had to confess to my boyfriend today. I said, I have a confession to make, and he's like, what? And I said, I'm cheated on you. I said, I saw Game of Thrones.
Oh.
So Rox is back on the market.
Yeah, she's in her apartment.
Yeah. Anyway, so it's like you have to show up. I'm like, we're recording. I had to watch it. You're not on a podcast, are you, Mr. Attorney? No.
It was required. He's out doing real things.
So he's like, well, how will I catch up? I'm like, I'll re-see this. This is a good episode because we bid adieu to a favorite character for everybody, and we just mentioned her name, the actress, not the one that's not showing up at DragonCon, the other one. No, Lady Olenna. Spoiler.
By the time they hear this, it won't be a spoiler. Don't worry.
Well, that's true. But she was that scene is great. She's awesome. She should do commercials or something. Does she do like audiobooks? WEJ?
I don't.
You're in that realm.
I don't know.
So you know everybody that does them now.
Oh yeah. Hang on. I'll just FaceTime her real quick and
ask her.
Ask her
what she's currently recording.
Well, don't wake her up. They are 6 hours ahead of us or whatever. Because she'll know it's me calling. Oh, are you calling for her again? So I don't know, John. What do you think of the season so far? It's 3 episodes.
It's been really good.
It has, except for that time travel thing. I just
It's not time travel. It's just
whatever.
Travel time.
Travel time over rough terrain and everything.
Is it though? Because they really don't say how long.
No, all right. So I had a problem with season 6 when it came to all of a sudden. Yeah. Well, okay, no one's aging, and when you consider Euron had to create, he had to create a whole fleet because they took half the fleet.
Yeah, well, I mean, they pretty much said that that's the only thing we're going to be doing.
Where do they get the wood? They're scavengers, they're ravagers, or whatever the hell they are. There's no wood on that island of misfit people.
Go ask George.
There's the Lowe's nearby, and they just raided it.
I have a sneaking suspicion that this season is not doing that much for Rox because she's concentrating on this stuff instead of like plot and character development and stuff.
You are aware they have dragons, right?
I do, yes.
You know those aren't real, right? You have to suspect. Well, wait a minute. Hold on, wait. Maybe we should back up here. Wait, Rox?
Yeah.
Dragons aren't real. Sorry. By your stunned silence, I'm concerned that you are not understanding what I'm saying. Dragons are not real.
Well, I don't know, John. If you believe in Chinese zodiac astrology, I'm a Libra dragon. So we do exist. Top that, John.
Somehow
Top that.
I think I'm a rat, so you know.
Well, there you go.
Or I'm a cock, one or the other.
No comment.
Absolutely none. No, it's a fine season. It's just something I can gripe about. But you know.
Yeah, I'll give that a pass more than I will, somebody going like my sister complaining that on Walking Dead, I understand. I mean, like, when do they go to the bathroom? Like, what?
Right.
There's a fucking zombie apocalypse, and the thing you're missing from the show is watching them take a shit? It's like, what? What is happening?
I'm with your sister on that one.
Actually, I'm a gold pig, apparently.
When do they get their hair cut? I'm like, hair? You really want to see? I'm sorry. We have to take 5 minutes out. You know.
Did you
of
ever
this
see the? Did
drama.
you ever see? No. Did you ever see the movie The Host? No, you did.
No.
It's a great.
I know. I need
So
to see
it's Korean giant monster, awesome. There's a great scene. It's an amazing scene. I cried through it. There's a scene where they're in some convenience store and they're eating, and one of the children is not with them, but everyone, because of stress or whatever, all of a sudden she's there. And they're doing what people do, is all of a sudden they're all feeding her and they're just a family. And it's like, oh, then they realize she's not there. But it's the most human portion, the human part of the film. It's an amazing scene. They stop to eat. I used to do that in gaming all the time. Like, hey, what time is it? For our fantasy game for D&D, or it was mainly through Villains and Vigilantes. And they're like, I don't know, it's like 3 in the morning. I'm like, oh, let's stop and get something to eat.
So what was that? So what was that world's version of Waffle House?
I think we all went to Denny's or something. It drove this one. I did it just to drive this one woman crazy. Oh man, we need to go for donuts. Don't you know? Or we're in a big fight and it's like, I got to get up tomorrow. I got to go. What? You're leaving? I'm like, yeah, I got to get up. Whatever. It's the way I roll.
Well,
literally.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. Literally. Yeah.
Roll those dice.
So,
Yeah,
no,
we
it's good. It's a good. So what else is? John, I tried starting The Leftover People.
From the beginning.
Yeah.
And
I don't know. I'm not. It's the GR people, and they're dressed in white and they're smoking. I don't understand that.
You have to watch the whole series to sort of understand what's going on there.
I don't know. It's a good premise though. So in that world, it's on HBO. The rapture has occurred and people randomly
2% of the population.
2%, 140 million people. The thing is, it's random. So the people that have been taught this is, the good people go, well, not always. Like the first scene, you have like this little 5-year-old kid. He's looking for his dad. His dad disappeared. And then there's like this little infant. So, is Eccleston in all 3 seasons, or is he just in the one? Oh,
yes,
okay.
he's in all 3 seasons.
He does a weird accent. I think he's one of the Brit people that just can't really pull it off.
He has an interesting journey with his character.
Does he? All right.
It's really cool.
Do you like the show? I'm on the fence.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked it a lot.
All right. Oh, so did you watch the ending and everything?
Yeah, originally I was against the ending. I thought the ending wasn't that great, and then I rewatched it again, and I was like, okay, now I get it.
But you still hate the ending to Lost?
I've been ambivalent to the ending of Lost. I hated
that ending.
It's fun to hate it, but I'm really ambivalent to it.
All right.
It's fine. He did a much better job of ending Leftovers than he did.
So was Lost? So was Lost like purgatory?
So they do share a lot of similarities. Lost was yes, for lack of better term.
Yeah. Well, I tried explaining this to my boyfriend, who is a church person, and I'm like, well, purgatory is like a Greyhound bus station. And he's like, no, it's more like Walmart. I'm like, oh dear God, no, that's hell.
Yeah, trust me, as somebody who has been in Greyhound bus stations, it's purgatory.
Yeah, it is. I'll let him know, Scott. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm gonna text him right now.
I just actually watched the
Scott
season. I finally got around to watching a season finale of The Good Place with Ted Danson, Kristen.
How was that? That started
It's really
out
good.
clever.
Oh, it actually ends clever too.
Okay.
Oh, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was very very non classical comedy type thing. So I really appreciated it. And I know it's coming back for a second season. It just the ending of it was really of the season was really good. I just don't know how they pull it off a second time.
They move up to purgatory.
Mm-hmm.
Or one of the circles of hell.
Purgatory sort of comes into play in one of the episodes, actually.
Like a Greyhound bus station.
Sort of.
I knew it.
Sort of. So, The Good Place on Hulu.
The Good Place.
And what was it? Oh, the new trailer for It is out. You guys seen that?
Oh, there's a second trailer out? No,
Yeah.
I haven't.
Yeah, I
So
I am.
So
I
does
am-
it look good? I mean,
think
it's
so.
a big book.
I think so. And well, I mean, they're doing two films basically, as I understand it. Like they did with the miniseries. You've got the kids, and then you've got the adults, and the they've updated it to the 1980s for the first part, which sort of makes sense.
Because that's the timeline. That's all hip now.
Yeah, but what I've seen in the trailer looks good, and it looks actually really scary, like really disturbing shit. So I am hopeful.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely check out that trailer. And so what else did I just see as far as trailer? Oh,
so
there is a film. Oh, real quick before because I will totally forget.
Yeah.
Have you seen anything about Suburbicon?
Yes, that was a trailer in
saw a
Atomic
trailer.
Blonde.
Did you see the trailer, Rox?
Part of it, and then I fell asleep.
Okay.
But there was
Basically-
nothing on.
There's what?
No, I was in bed and I was starting to watch and then fell asleep.
No, you're good. Basically, it's directed by George Clooney and co-written by Clooney and the Coen brothers.
Oh shit!
And Matt Damon is this. It's this suburban community in which Matt Damon, I think, like owes money to a mafia group or something, and they try to come and fuck with him, and basically things just escalate, and it's got that Burn After Reading feel to it, of just like what the fuck is happening. I mean, parts of the trailer were just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's got this weird juxtaposition of like perfect 1950s Father Knows Best suburbia mixed with Goodfellas.
Yeah.
And
it really does.
Yeah, and it's like, what the wait? Oh, what shit? It's very, very odd. It's interesting, but it's odd.
Mm-hmm.
In that Coen Brothers way.
Like Coen Brothers.
Oh yes.
If you didn't like them, you'd have to leave the podcast immediately.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm trying to think what else trailers. Oh, who saw the Justice League trailer? Who cares?
I saw
I saw the second trailer for Thor Ragnarok.
That looks fun.
So now they're making Hulk talk more. I don't want that.
Well, they say he's like.
They're
They
going
say he's like
towards Planet Hulk type stuff, so that's why.
I mean,
Yeah,
they're,
and he
they're
talks
not
like a
going
two-year-old.
Planet Hulk. I mean, they're doing Planet Hulk. It's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he talks like a 2-year-old, so I don't think there's going to be a lot of talking. There's going to be some talking.
Okay.
I just love the whole thing where Thor tells Banner, "Yeah, I totally won."
Oh yeah, that was cute.
That doesn't sound right.
No, totally did.
But no, that I'm just like
how the Marvel people just find that wonderful balance of charming and dickishness.
I'm curious. I'm like, if you're doing Ragnarok
he's a guy I
and
know at
Planet
work.
Hulk, and you know, you've got Odin's got to be in there somewhere as well. Not only because you've got Loki again, but because Anthony Hopkins is at least credited in the film. So I'm like, that's a lot of ground to cover. I mean, I'm sure they can do it because, I mean, look what they did with Civil War. But still, it's like, wow. But I want that. And after watching a Black Panther trailer in IMAX, I want that too.
Well, you wanted it before even the IMAX one.
No,
right?
but I want it even. I need it now. I need it.
It went up to 11. It went up to 11. But I mean, the whole Justice League trailer, I'm like, what the fuck have they got the Flash wearing?
It's armor.
The more to the point was, what the hell is Cyborg doing?
Yeah.
No, more to the point, why does Cyborg look like a horrible, like just CG? I don't know what it is. It's like, ugh, he looks terrible.
It just looks bad. That's the thing. It looks bad, except for, okay, I always get confused. Is it Gadot?
Godot.
I've heard
What?
it's Gadot.
You wait for Godot, you watch Godot.
What? What is happening?
Wonder Woman. She looks great. Everybody else just is designed badly. She even stands out even more as like the only good thing about this movie.
Wow.
Well, am I wrong? I mean, everybody else just looks terrible. Just designed badly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even Momoa. I mean, whatever the hell he's wearing just looks so damn clunky and just.
See, the problem I have
bad
is he would make a great Aquaman if they were doing Aquaman like where he's. What I really like about the character in the comics, they finally figured out.
Peter
Oh wait,
David
this guy's royalty. He and Diana are like peers because.
Diana's
king of
kind of like a
Atlantis.
god. She's a demigod. No.
What?
What?
Well, Wonder Woman's more like a demigod, isn't she?
She's a princess. She's princess of.
Yeah. Okay.
Obscura.
Whatever.
So, but basically, it's like, so rather than being goofy guy who could just talk to fish, it's like, no, he basically can talk to fucking fish and convince any of them to do whatever the fuck he wants, and that's actually really fucking cool. And he's got an entire underwater nation behind him. But instead, we get Jason Momoa, who would do that great. I think he would be great at it. But he's always like he's like a jock in this, just like bro yelling around and then like jumping around with his non-trident trident. That's something I'm sure will drive you crazy, Rox, if it doesn't already. Is that it's supposed to be a trident, but it's got 5 points on it.
Oh wow, they can't count.
Yep.
Wouldn't that be a sextant? No. No.
Just don't. Stop.
Five.
Stop. You're
uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco. Cincoet? Cinco?
Synced it? I don't know. We need.
And the villain, Steppenwolf. Isn't that a band name?
What?
The villain is supposed to be Steppenwolf or something like that.
Well, yeah, it's the band. Basically, Steppenwolf was one of the. What do you call it? Is he from Apocalypse or is he?
He's supposed. I think they're doing Apocalypse or doing something like that. But isn't there a band named that?
Yeah, but there's like.
It's just a stupid name. They should have gone with They should have gone with Granny Goodness. They should have gotten Helen Mirren as Granny Goodness.
I thought Steppenwolf. Well, I mean, there's a theater called Steppenwolf as well. So anyway,
I don't know. It just, I mean,
it's a novel. Basically, that's where it comes from.
It's just bad decisions all over the place in this thing. It just, and of course they're bringing Superman right back.
Well, yeah,
and without a mustache.
Okay, that part was funny.
Good God!
You heard about this, right, Rox?
What? No, what?
That Henry Cavill has got a mustache for the film he's working on now, and they had to bring him back for reshoots. So they're gonna have to CG take off the mustache.
Oh my god!
Because I think he's doing a sequel to Man from U.N.C.L.E.
What?
I think that's what I read. I could be wrong, but that's what I heard. That he is it for Man from. Okay, calm down, breathe.
He's writing it. It's not. It's being written, but it's not in production.
Okay, well, whatever movie whoever movie has the mustache for, they refuse to let him shave it.
Right.
Or I think Justice League even offered, or Warner Brothers offered to pay for a mustache, and they said no, he's keeping it. So they have to CG it off.
Which I just think is fucking hilarious.
Oh yeah, it's beautifully dickish.
No, that's right. It's Mission Impossible 6.
That's okay. Okay, sorry, I got them all confused. Sorry. Okay. Because I was wondering about that. I heard, and those 60s spy things all got jumbled in my brain, and that's where it ended up.
I mean, that happens.
Yeah. But no, it's just Justice League. Just, eh.
Well, the problem is I mean, they've rushed it. So apart from Wonder Woman, who we've had her film, and she's a badass, and Batman.
If that's going to happen.
No, Batman the character. That's already happened.
Okay.
He's in the film. I promise.
Right.
He's been around for a little while.
Yeah.
No, I thought you were talking about the Batman the movie with maybe what's his face?
Yeah. Well, Ben Affleck.
Thank you, Ben Affleck.
But basically, I mean, he was great in Batman v Superman. So I mean, I kind of dig him. They've never given Henry Cavill anything to do with Superman. So,
they wrote Superman shittily.
Right, exactly. I mean, the new guys, it's like, I mean, Marvel had the common sense to at least establish the character, then bring them together, because it would make, then when they come together, it's something. But here, because they're fixated on trying to play catch up to Marvel, they're just doing it. They're rushing through it, and as a result, it all looks like shit.
Well, it's not only that; it's just written. They have they're so determined to make this different from Marvel. It's just like, I think we've talked about this before. I don't know if it's like they want to do counter programming or they just want to be different from Marvel, but they're not fun. They're all so fucking dark and blah, blah, blah.
Well, but here's the thing. I don't think the problem is that they're dark, because the Nolan Batman films were especially dark, and they were incredibly enjoyable. And part of the reason for that is that Nolan understands that what was known back in the time of Shakespeare, which is, if it's all tension and you never release it, then it won't work. That's why you have, what was it, the drunk guy at the gate in Macbeth right after huge soliloquy about death and shit. Because you have to give people a chance to laugh a little, because otherwise they're just overwhelmed with shit.
Yeah,
so it's dark.
Yeah.
What's that?
Oh, I was just saying, it's like a cinematic version of Blue Balls.
Yes. No, but I mean, if you look at, I mean, there's nothing wrong with dark versions of stuff. I mean, I have no problem with that. It's just it's just the fact that, like you said, it's not well written. They're carrying the mistake that they've made by trying to make everything into The Killing Joke and Watchmen, and they're just carrying that
And
into
the Dark
film.
Knight Rises, the comic.
But here's the thing, though. Dark Knight Rising had plenty of humor in it.
No, I meant the Dark Knight, the Miller.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It had.
No, I'm just
plenty of
saying
humor.
that. But I mean, that's another one that people take the wrong lesson from.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
And
like,
again, part of the, just like with Justice League, where it's like, hey, it's too soon. This doesn't mean anything. You know, in Batman v Superman, we've not. The whole point of the fight in Dark Knight, the reason why it was so incredible, was that they had this huge history where they'd been out. I mean, they were in World's Finest together, you know, for I don't know, several hundred issues or something like that. But they've basically fought side by side for years, and now they're trying to kill each other. So it was intense, but so they don't have any of that going for them with this, and it continually makes me sad because I want there to be an awesome DC expanded universe, and there's no reason why there can't be. It's just that Warner Brothers has no idea what the fuck they're doing.
And I think I've said this before. They need to establish. I think part of it that would help is to establish its DC Comics as its own separate thing. Because the people who they don't understand comics and they don't understand what's good and bad about this stuff, and you know, they're treating it like any other movie, and they're not, especially if they're doing this whole expanded universe deal.
Yeah, I mean, part of it too is that Warner Brothers has a history of never being happy when they have a property. They look at it and they go, you know, when they say, "Oh, well, it's got Superman in it." Well, it's got to be worth, I don't know, making up numbers, $750 million domestic, easy. And the stuff that they have those inflated ideas about never make the money they believe they should, and the stuff that they don't necessarily have a lot of faith in, like Wonder Woman, surprises the hell out of them, and then they turn around and go, "Oh, that's so weird. Wonder how that worked," and other stuff doesn't, and they don't get it at all. I mean, they still haven't signed Patty Jenkins for the second Wonder Woman yet.
Well, is that they haven't, or Patty Jenkins is like, well,
we don't know, because part of the thing is they didn't lock her in, which was stupid.
Yeah,
so now,
because it's like, how much is like, yeah, more.
Well, she can do that to a point, but
well, yeah, to a point, but still, she's probably saying, yeah, but yeah, guys, no, bring the money truck.
Well, sadly, if she was a male director, she could get away with more of that money truck shit. But I will say that it's, by now, I believe it's the highest grossing film of this year, passing Guardians 2. And I think it's it had more retention in the second weekend than pretty much any superhero movie ever, or something, or at least in the last several years. So, and it's like the highest. There was something else about the female director was the highest, like, opening weekend or something. I don't even remember, but it broke a lot of records. And you know, I will say they shouldn't be negotiating with her to do Wonder Woman 2. They should be negotiating with her to take over the DC expanded universe. Because if she was doing it, oh God, that would make me happy. But alas.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I kept, and what really helped was, I keep reading about all these women who wanted it, who watched this movie, were like, I just want to beat somebody up now. It's like, that's, because they felt so empowered. They felt like all this. And it's like, I swear to God, men don't see it. Especially guys in Hollywood, they just don't see it. It's like, even no matter how many times you show it to that this stuff works, it's like they don't get it. They can't. I don't know what it is.
But see, here's the thing, and it's guys in the sense that the executives are guys. I don't think it's necessarily a gender thing that they don't get it. It's just that they think Hollywood is the problem, and it's the same reason why the example I always cite that Paramount said, "Oh well, science fiction is tired." When they decided to end the original Star Trek franchise, it's like,
it was because Enterprise was shit.
But not even the television series. Just talking the films. I mean, they basically ran the franchise into the ground. But like you're saying, they don't take away the right lesson. And I think it's you hardly ever see a studio basically standing up and going, yeah, we totally earned that we fucked that up. That was dumb. We shouldn't have done that.
Things would be so much better if people could just learn to say, my bad. Superman Batman versus Superman. Yeah, it was not a good movie. My bad. We'll do better.
Well, here's part of the problem as well with that is that it's not my bad, because there's so many people involved who have to sign off on stuff. It's a collective bad. I mean, unless you are
bad.
Unless I will say, like James Cameron and George Lucas, that they had enough clout where they had pretty much final say on whatever they wanted to do for the most part. So yeah, in that case, they fucked up. But there's so many people involved with the making of a film, especially a big ass film, that it's hard for somebody to stand up and go, "Oh, well, we were wrong."
And if you try to be that one person, it doesn't work out like Zack Snyder. I mean, obviously he has some responsibility, but everybody shits on him. Where there are probably other people responsible for the problems that they're having with the DC movies.
Yeah, and the thing is too about Zack Snyder,
wants to stick your neck out.
Zack Snyder is not 100% awful, because I think as we brought up before, I mean, he's the one who gave us Gal Gadot.
Mm-hmm.
Patty Jenkins did not want Gal Gadot, and Zack Snyder basically said, "No, this is your Wonder Woman." And Patty Jenkins now says, "Yeah, he was totally right. I was totally wrong. She's nailed it." And so there's certain things that he does, and I just wonder how much he has somebody standing off to the side. Rocks. It's like the imperial conquering hero with the person standing behind them going, "Remember, thou art mortal.
Yeah.
Remember, thou art mortal."
Yeah, but I think that's also the other thing that's the problem is that most of the people who are responsible, we don't know who they are, and they know not to stick their necks out too far because they know they'll get the blame for it, and they know how to stay behind and not get stay behind the scenes.
And that's why like screenwriting, you got to bear it in the back of your mind when you go, oh well, they wrote such and so this is probably going to suck, this new thing that they're working on. Well, you don't know who wrote that thing that sucked, because there's no telling how many people who aren't credited who had input.
Script doctors are never credited.
Yeah.
I mean, look, Carrie Fisher was one, Harlan Ellison's one. I mean, they're not credited. So there's it's like what people don't understand about like the comic book industry, it's almost like a cottage industry that, yeah, you have your writers, they work alone, but I'm sure that they deal with the editors and to make sure continuity. There's that, even though they get, their name on it, but you have your inker. Okay, now the thing is what people don't understand is an inker or a penciler, and I've seen this happen. I know somebody in the industry. She worked on stuff for Todd McFarlane.
I was just thinking
and
that.
he would yeah, so he would like do the main whatever pinup, and then right in the background in lettering, circus. So that went to somebody, and then you go to your inker, and the inker is usually backed up with work that they farm it out. So even though it's under somebody's name, most of the time there might be 2 other people inking, and then you're coloring and stuff like that. So it's something that people do not realize.
Well, and the other thing too is the Marvel method, where it was basically the writer would turn in a plot summary with the beats in it, and then the artist would draw what they thought that was supposed to be, and then you would turn around and the writer would then fill in word balloons. So it was completely backwards and sideways from what you think it would be.
Yes. Yeah.
Although if you really want to see crazy scripting, then get anything that Alan Moore's written. Because his scripts are amazing, because the level of detail that he goes into about what he wants will make your face melt.
Yes. Yeah. Well, on that note, I'm sauntering away.
Okay. Do you have any recommendations before you go?
I don't.
Okay.
Oh, actually, I do. I do. Sorry, I do.
I can't unring that bell. Once that bell has been rung.
I know. I just thought of it. So, Wired magazine had the death of the iPod. That Apple has finally is not promoting the iPod at all. The standalone. So now, WEJ, your story about the 2 guys from years ago, you read a story at DreamCon Jacksonville about some DJs, and they had all their music stored on iPods. So now that story is now relevant because iPods are gone. I love mine. I have a backup. I have a 160 gig. I love mine, and I think Tuffley.
After Baby Driver, I was like, oh, wait a minute. I didn't think about the fact you could have multiple iPods. That never occurred to me somehow.
Oh my gosh, Martha Stewart. That's how she deals with it. She's got, multiple iPods throughout her house. She was ahead of her time. And she would just have them, near a wireless remote or whatever. So. Yeah. So anyway, so find an iPod because they're gone.
I have my Zune, so
the going rate, who knows when? You still have a Zune?
Yeah, I still have a Zune.
Do you really? Does it work?
And actually, yes, and the Zune software is actually installed on this PC that I'm recording things on.
How many music items? How many items you got on it?
35. I would love to see if they.
I don't know. I thought it was 30.
Because that still has a click wheel, doesn't she?
No, not really.
No, I'm talking to WEJ.
Yeah, I don't think so. She's got a what you call it? An iTouch.
She's got an iTouch, but didn't you guys have a click wheel?
We did. It finally died.
Did you have a big wheel?
So,
so
I have a backup, but it's only 120 gig or something. So I got my still 160 good. Battery's still good. So, crap. RIP. iPod.
There you go.
Night.
Good night, Rocks. So, where does that leave us?
Did you see the trailer for Ready Player One?
Yes.
Yes, I did actually.
What did you think of it?
Has anyone read the book?
Yes.
How is the book?
It's fun. It's not anything like it's not groundbreaking, but it's definitely got some good stuff in it. I mean, it's not perfect. It's got some flaws, but it was fun. It's not what they call it in the trailer, the holy grail of pop culture. Who the fuck approved that?
There's no telling.
I mean, that's just ridiculous. I mean, it was good. It was not like that.
It might have been Frank in accounting.
Oy.
Oh, that guy. What a douchebag. Yeah, no, I think it's not knowing the whole. I mean, I haven't read the book, but the trailer was certainly interesting, and the fact that you've got all of those, they've got Iron Giant, you've got Freddy Krueger, you've got all this, Tron, you've got the fucking Back to the Future.
Actually, it's not Tron, it's Kira.
It's what?
The motorcycle?
Is that Kira?
Yeah.
That's the motorcycle from Akira.
Oh, okay. Well, it looked like Tron. But no, I mean, I'm intrigued, but I don't know.
So my son read the book and then he saw the trailer, and his response was, "I have concerns."
I like that. That's good.
I can't wait to meet him. He sounds fun.
I like that.
He's 13, and
that is a great response. I have concerns. That should be a pull quote for something.
Need coffee. I have concerns.
Oh yes, Scott. Absolutely. So do I. I do. Rather a lot.
By the by, did you see my Slack post the other day?
I think so. Remind me what it was.
Oh,
I remember seeing it
over at Target. There was a coffee that just.
Oh yes. I remember now.
Yeah, and then I looked across the aisle. I'm like, oh, okay, then there's also flasks here and mixers for mixing glasses. And I'm like, oh, I get it now. This actually is Widge's side project he's got going.
Well, you got to have a lot of irons in the fire.
Otherwise, you have concerns.
I still have concerns.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else I've seen like that, and I'm not.
I know I've seen fire and I've seen rain.
I've seen fire and I've seen rain.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm here to serve. Enjoy.
You're here for serve. Well, he's not on the.
I know. I waited for him. That's what happens when you legalize. That's what happens when you legalize things in certain states. Ooh, did you see the guy that just that's trying to push the legislation? It's never going to pass, but legislation through the Senate.
Oh, you mean the thing to legalize? It's medical, right? Or is it like
no, just completely remove it off of the remove marijuana off of the schedule. One list.
Yeah, that's not going to happen, especially not in today's climate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Serve also has baby, so that also takes a lot of time.
Yeah. They're in bed. Well, I guess it is really only 8 o'clock out there right now. No, 6 o'clock out there right now. 9 o'clock? 10 o'clock. 1 o'clock.
It's okay. When the kid goes to college, he'll be able to rejoin us.
It rocks around the clock. That's all I know.
Well, Rox does sleep eventually. The hell? Oh, is that your chair?
That was my chair.
Okay. Damn. No, all I heard was it sounded like there was a trumpet in the distance. Like, what is happening?
Gabriel's here.
Oh, good.
Yeah, he's popping in.
I feel better already.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But I mean, I don't know. There's stuff going on. I can't think of. I'm trying to think of. Have we talked about the 13th, the female doctor? I can't remember.
Did it happen? I think Rob was here last week, right?
Yeah, I think Rob was here last time.
Last
but
time that happened then,
feel
right?
free, talk about the female doctor.
Actually, I'm considering all the hints that they were giving. You know, it seems like they were going to do this. I would have been surprised if they hadn't done it, because they were like seriously, really foreshadowing it very hard. I don't know. I mean, I do get people. It's like I know the internet can be an awful place, but it's just calm down. It's going to be okay.
So my son's take on this, because apparently I'm just going to start quoting him now.
Does he have concerns?
Yes, he has concerns. He has concerns that the writing sucks. Well, like, I don't care about the doctor. If the writing continues to suck, then
yeah,
it doesn't matter.
Well, I think maybe they'll have T can bring in different people to make it better. I
argue that the writing has always sucked. So what do I know?
Bite me. Okay, my biggest concern is that they will do too much with her being with the doctor being female. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Well,
too much of a thing of it.
They did say that. Well, at least she's saying that she's going to be bisexual.
Well, that's not what I mean. It's when she like, I don't know. It's like
they're gonna make too much of a big deal of her being a woman. In other words, always write towards her as her being a woman, as opposed to just writing her as a person.
Yeah, and if they can avoid that, that'd be great. But I'm just saying there are problems that they can screw this up. I hope they don't.
You could screw anything up. I mean, part of what I think they need to do is because we've seen that after a regeneration, there's that trying to get acclimated to the new body. And since this character, to our knowledge, has never been female before, there's obviously going to be some. I mean, there's going to be a different time. Except, oh, look at my teeth. It's going to be, oh, wow, oh, wait a minute.
Ooh, hey, ooh.
I mean, not even in a creepy John way, but but more just a realistic
in the version of Doctor Who that I will watch. That's what's happening.
Yeah, she changes, and then the plumber shows up at the door to the TARDIS
with the pizza.
Stop.
Pizza. What?
Stop. No.
You don't like plumbers with pizza?
No. This is not. No. Don't mix. No. Stop it.
Finish the sentence, Scott.
No.
You just need to finish the sentence.
No. But actually, what I'm curious about is who will be the new companion? Will they go female? Will they go male? How will that dynamic change things? Like I said, they could screw this up, and I hope they don't. But it does offer a lot of new, interesting avenues they can explore. And something that they may deal with is like if the Doctor goes to the past and she encounters some of the more primitive, how does her doctorness overpower, like, oh, that's just a silly woman. You know what I mean? I don't know. There are definitely pitfalls, but I think there could be very interesting avenues that they could explore that obviously they haven't been able to explore before. So I think it'll be interesting. And I'm very interested to see what the new showrunner, his take on the whole thing is as well. So it's definitely very interesting. And it definitely could be, a step in trying to reinvigorate some stuff. So there.
Again, if you just had better writing, that would be a good start. What?
Writing isn't terrible.
I've seen it when it has good writing. I know what it looks like.
Now I will say I will say this last season with Bill, she has been like amazing. That the character herself, I mean, besides being gay, I mean, just the character was just like really very cool. And her just being gay was like the icing on the cake.
I thought the Matt Smith first season was great, along with the library two-parter with Tennant and the Blink episode where the Doctor was hardly in it at all.
I mean, admittedly, there were a few clunkers in this last season, but there were some episodes that were pretty fucking good. Like, oh god, I'm completely shit, I can't think of titles. I can never remember titles, but there was one where they actually travel back to the early 1800s, and this is like when she first goes back in time and she's asking all these questions, and of course like the Doctor's like, oh, don't worry about it, you know. It definitely it's a great episode, sort of a climatizing build of sort of like the Doctor's seemingly casual disregard for people dying all over the place, and you know, dealing with like, you know, stuff like that. There were some good episodes in this season. I mean, there were some clunkers, but there was some good stuff in here as well. So, all in all, I mean, you know, it was a pretty decent season all around. So, you know.
Well, I never came back. I might come back for this just because I'm curious, but
yeah, there are a few episodes in the middle that you can skip, but mostly, I mean, there were some decent ones in there as well. So, I mean, if you look online, people will say what worked and what didn't, so you can avoid.
Yeah, I generally go to Rob and I go, Rob, what am I supposed to do here? And he helps.
Yeah, Rob will help you. Yeah. So,
well, we should probably, I'm thinking, move towards recommendations.
Cool.
So that we can feel free to live a life of religious fulfillment. There you go.
Okay.
What?
That was weird.
Welcome to Weekend Justice.
Yeah. So
yeah. Scott, we'll start with you, of course. What have you got?
Shoot, I'm trying to think. Actually, Big Finish, the guys who do the Doctor Who audio series, they have been doing some really interesting stuff with taking like classic science fiction novels, like The Time Machine, Dracula, the classics, and reimagining them as audio plays. And they have been really interesting. They did a very interesting interpretation of Shape of Things to Come by H.G. Wells, his like future history book about, you know, how through struggle and strife they reach this sort of utopia and interpret, and turns it into like showing this modern politician how history can change if he does something, but it's something that's kind of like bad. So they've been doing some very interesting stuff with interpreting these classic novels for the audio sphere. So you can check that stuff out on bigfinish.com. I'm trying to think. Oh, did any of you guys see the Feud on FX?
Oh, is this the Betty Davis?
Joan Crawford.
Yeah, no, I've not seen it, but
oh my god, you've got to see it. Oh my god, it is unbelievably bitchy and sad, and it's wonderful. But the book it's based on, The Divine Feud, goes into more of the two actresses, like more of their biography about, you know, why they acted the way they did, you know, why Joan Crawford was so obsessed with her looks, why Betty Davis was so concerned about her acting and stuff like that, and why the two just could not get along. Written by Sean Constantine, something like that. It's a very interesting look on two women who are very strong, yet had, you know, the typical thing about like strong people who have like hidden insecurities, and that just sort of colors how they are. and they have some of the best quotes about the bitchiness about this stuff. It's like Betty, I think one of the best ones I read was Betty Davis said that Joan Crawford slept with every male star at MGM except for Lassie. Yeah, it was, yeah. These two could turn a phrase. It just, the shade of it all was just, but like I said, it does, besides underneath the bitchiness was like, these two women had like some serious insecurities that really colored most of their lives, and they just couldn't get past that because they were so used to. That was one of the things that was really interesting. Both these women fought so hard for their careers and everything, but they didn't know when to stop. Every problem had to be a battle. They couldn't find ways of compromise when it was really in their interest to. So, but no, it's a very interesting read. Yeah, and they just came out with a new edition for the show because a lot of what is in the show came from this book. So you can pick it up pretty quickly on Amazon.com.
Cool.
And that's it for me. Dun dong.
Yeah.
Thank you, Scott. Okay, John. What you got?
Handmaid's Tale. Watch it.
Yes, that's on my list.
Yes.
It's available on Hulu. Unfortunately, only. Well, no, actually, that's not true. I think you can also rent it on Amazon.
Cool.
Double check that. I have to
I
double
am
check
very curious what they're going to do for a second season.
that. Well, I haven't finished watching it yet, so.
Oh.
But they do they've taken liberties out of they've expanded on the book's universe.
Oh,
so,
hang on. I thought the book was about losing liberty. So now you're saying they're taking.
Well, they took the liberties that they lost and they replaced it with other things.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Handmaid's Tale, watch it, and you can get that at neatcoffee.com/handmaidstale.com/Amazon.
What?
Yes. John is absolutely correct. If you go to neatcoffee.com/Amazon, you'll wind up at the front page of Amazon like you've gone to the front page of Amazon. But the difference is, but there's a difference. The difference is that you'll be giving us kickbacks for everything that you buy, which we greatly appreciate. So for my recommendation, I'm going to throw out there the soundtracks for both Baby Driver and Atomic Blonde. Both excellent. And if you want to check them out, they're on Spotify's playlists as well. But also coming out, I believe next week, is a new edition of Reanimator with Jeffrey Combs.
Yes.
And one can never have too many versions of that. Now, I am curious to see if this is going to be better than the Elite Entertainment version, which thus far has been my favorite edition as far as the bonus features and whatnot go. So we shall see. Because I'm not familiar with what's on this one. It's just Reanimator and it's limited edition, so I'm done for. I gotta have it. So, but that's it. And if you haven't watched it recently, watch it again. It is fun. And I will say, I'm assuming they'll have some commentary on here, but the commentary that was on the Elite Entertainment green packaging edition is pretty great.
Was it glowing green?
As close as you could get.
Cool.
But it was pretty great, especially talking about how they were doing stuff on as small a budget as possible, and having a good laugh about it. So good stuff. So yeah, that's it. That's my recommendation.
Yeah, go watch Jeffrey Combs without any makeup.
What?
Well, he's done a lot of stuff with like Star Trek, but it's mostly with him with prosthetics on.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So yes, there you have it. I think now that we've come to the end of yet another Weekend Justice, I think it's very important that we, as we always do, just take a moment to stop and reflect before we re-enter the madness of our regular lives from the chaos that has been this podcast, and simply say, dragons.
Dragons.
Gotta be dragons.
Of course, doesn't it say something about our modern world that the chaos of weekend justice is actually less chaotic than our normal lives?
Well, that's very profound.
That's what is known as hard sayings.
Yeah.
Yep. That's deep, man.
And there's the coda.
And one of these.
Ah.
Oh my.
Yeah.
All right.
My.
Oh my. Oh my, it's time to pee.
So, just quickly, are we going to have like a meeting about what's going on